Hey dolls, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today, for giving myself your time and your future self your time. You guys showed so much love when I posted a Q&A in my Instagram story, so I figured why not just film a YouTube video on it. You asked me, why did I close Dollhouse? Was it planned? What has my life been like after giving my life to God? You guys asked me really deep questions and I appreciated it so much. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Question number 1, why did you close the Dollhouse down and was it planned? So if you don't know, I owned the Dollhouse & Co. for the past 5 years. I still own the Dollhouse & Co. It's just a digital brand now. Before I owned a physical lash and brow house, I was pretty successful to say the least. And I closed it to the public. That seems overnight. But I was planning to close my business down for about a year. The seed was planted in my mind. And for a year, I was half into the Dollhouse life and half into this new life, this digital entrepreneurship life. And at the end of the day, I knew I couldn't do both. And my business was for the people. It was not something I started for myself. I didn't open my business because I wanted to make $1 million. I opened my business because it kind of just happened naturally. And as I grew really close relationships with people, I just kept scaling and wanting more and pushing for more. I loved all of my employees. I built really good relationships with my employees and my clients. So I kind of kept it going because in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm supplying jobs. I'm putting food on the table for my employees and their families. I'm creating a living that young females love, and I'm also able to mentor them in building their success as well. Anytime I would invest in something, I would tell one of my employees, like, girl, you want to invest in this with me? So I held a lot of emotional attachments to my business, and to go into the next chapter, you have to break all attachments. Be connected to everything, be attached to nothing. So I had to break my attachments with the physical location and know that my storefront was nothing but a location. Again, I still have the Dollhouse & Co. I just pivoted into a digital entrepreneurship, which I have been loving. I still do lashes and brows here and there. I still have a lot of clients that love and support me, and I'm so grateful for every single one of them. But it did happen very quickly. Once it really came to light, even for myself, I was like, damn, that happened fast. But again, the seed was planted a year ago. I just didn't make the decision until 2 months ago. And then 2 weeks later, I closed it. So yeah, it was kind of planned. It was planned. How does it feel now that I closed it? It was extremely hard. Now reflecting, I was in a deep depression. I was still getting up every single day. I didn't stop my grind. I actually grinded even harder. I got into the gym even more. I really tried to level up and fight against my emotions of sadness, of anger, of why is this happening, God, why? And again, anytime I asked myself, God, why? I reminded myself, like, Miranda, this is what you wanted. This is what you asked God for, and God delivered. But it's not what I expected. It is and it's not. Closing my business, I thought I was going to be making a lot more money right away. I thought that because I had all this time freedom, that it was going to be a lot easier for me to reach my goals online. With my digital income. But mind you, I still have a full book of clientele. So when I closed my business, I was still just as busy lashing and doing brows as I was before. I just didn't have to walk down the street to my salon. So it was an adjustment because I felt like I closed my business to scale everything digitally, but I didn't have any extra time for everything digital. So it wasn't what I expected. Life after the Dollhouse, it is beautiful. It's a beautiful journey. I still miss it sometimes. As somebody with ADHD, I talked about it in one of my last videos, as somebody with ADHD, I don't always sit in my feelings because I'm so next, that it took me like 2 weeks to realize like, holy crap, I closed my business. It was really hard, but life has been great. I've been busy. I have been killing my goals. I've been reaching new heights. I've been doing so many things that I've been asking God for, and he's making it happen. So it's been great. Now all the dollhouse questions are done. Now let's get into my personal life that you guys wanted to know about. Dating. Am I dating, and what is dating like as an entrepreneur? Am I dating right now? Actually, no. When a couple of months ago, especially after I closed my business, I was like, this chapter is about me and only me. Refinding myself outside of my business, because if you know me, you know I was waking up, going to my business until like sundown, coming home, making dinner, working on the business once I got home. My entire life was business, or let me run here for this employee, or this client needs this. The last couple of years, as much as Dollhouse I scaled for myself, and for my success, Dollhouse was not about me again. So this new chapter is about me, and it's about me and God. I recently gave my life to God, which I'll get into a little bit. I gave my life to God in January, I believe, at VU Church in Miami. I can't wait for that to be my home church one day. But I gave my life to God, and my life has changed since. It was actually because of the calling that God had over my life that I closed my business and I completely redirected. So circling back to answer your question, I'm not necessarily dating. I'm not opposed to anything, but I'm not looking for anything at the moment for the first time in a long time. I don't look at my phone being like, oh my God, did he text me back? Like, let me post a selfie for this person. Everything we do when we're looking for somebody else, and looking for fulfillment externally. So I did recently just get on Hinge again for the first time in like a year and a half, and I was on it for like a week, and I was like, this is horrible. Scroll. Hinge actually notified me. They were like, you actually have to like someone for us to even be able to match you. They're like, you have to like. And I was like, yeah, but I don't like any of these people. But I'm also huge on first impression and meeting people in person, and I truly think that if I'm meant to meet somebody, they will be in my life without me having to go online and search for them. That's just me. But if I run into my dream man, then I'm not gonna close the door that God opens. And I actually had a really nice dream, I guess you could say, about the fact that my future man is waiting for me after I was asking God, like, where's my man? Like, that's all I want right now. I do want to find my partner. I really do. It's a goal that I have for God's timing, but I hope in the next year minimum, because I want kids, and I want to cook for someone's son, okay? But when God says it's time, it'll be time. Favorite color. I wasn't gonna answer this question because it's so basic, but you know me, I'm always gonna go into like the deeper version of it. My favorite color, I would always say, was like black and white. I'm always wearing black. But I believe in really strong branding. Everything Dollhouse is pink. I wear pink all the time. My water bottle that I love so much is pink. I carry this thing with me everywhere. Like, it's my emotional support animal. But you'll see me wearing pink all of the time, or something pink around me, because I believe in really strong branding. But as I heal, I do love pink at the same time. So some days I'm like, oh my gosh, pink everything, like why? But then other days I'm like, oh my God, pink, like such a girly girl. Like, I have two different moods, black or pink girly girl. You're either gonna see me in some sweats and chilling, or you're gonna see me dressed up in a pair of pink little heels or a pink little handbag, hair and makeup done. Friendships as you grow. I was actually just talking about this with one of my friends yesterday, because I see my friends once a quarter, I would say, if that. One of my best friends lives in Vegas. One of my other best friends, She's an entrepreneur as well. She has such a successful videography company and business. So she's booked out literally a year in advance. And it's crazy because we're all in our own world. My other best friends live in Miami and Charlotte and all over. So, and my little best friend Violet lives in California. But anyway, I don't have a lot of local friends, and I'm totally okay with that because you know me, I'm grinding 24/7. But friendships as you grow is really hard because especially when all of your friends live all over the place, sometimes you feel a pressure of like, I have to go visit you right now. Or like, oh my God, I'm only a state away. I have to go book that extra plane ticket and XYZ. But mind you, in entrepreneurship, there's also seasons where one day you might make $0, the next day you might make 1,000. So it's also hard. It's not hard. It is not hard to keep up with your friends, especially with social media and FaceTime and everything like that. But it's difficult. It's hard to keep up with your friends and keep very strong, healthy relationships with them and remind them, look, we may not talk every single day. I have friends I don't talk. My best friend I don't talk to for 2 months at a time until we see each other. But then when we see each other, it's like nothing changed. We catch up over everything, and we know if you need me, pick up the phone and call. But in that meantime, we're both grinding and reaching our goals, and we're gonna party real soon together, or we're gonna sit by the pool or the ocean real soon together and relax. So friendships, as you grow, it's really interesting because as you go into these seasons of entrepreneurship and different seasons in your life, it really also shows you who your real friends are, who really supports you. It's crazy because even like videos like this or my YouTube channel, you could go tell 20 people like, hey, can you go support my YouTube channel? Hey, can you go ask me questions? And one person will ask. So it is very, very interesting. Friendship is very interesting as you grow. Stick with your intuition as well, and especially for me in a business of building relationships and being in the beauty industry for so long, being an entrepreneur, having employees that I built very close relationships, clients I build very close relationships with, doing business with friends a lot. It teaches you a lot about relationships again. So as much as I love building friendships, I also know how to keep my heart guarded and also keep business at times as well. There's a time and a place for everything. But no matter what you're going through with a friend, no matter how often you see each other, at the end of the day, to keep a friendship deep rooted is to just communicate. If you're feeling like, oh my gosh, my best friend's an entrepreneur, I haven't seen her in 3 months, does she even love me anymore? Just text her and be like, hey, yo, I miss you. Like, can we get on a phone call? Communicate your feelings, and it'll save 99% of your problems and your friendships. This ties right into it. Being alone versus lonely, especially as somebody that's single. I think you have to learn to be alone so that you don't feel lonely. I've personally lived by myself for 4 or 5 years now. There's been like a month or two where a friend has moved in, or I've moved in with a friend here and there. But I've lived by myself for 5 years. I love being alone, but there are times, especially winter and, you know, depression season, if you would, all that, you have to make sure you're not feeling lonely. But again, I'm in the business of building relationships with people. I don't feel lonely, thank God. And at the end of the day, you only need yourself and God. And you're really gonna find out at the end of the day, it is yourself and God. But entrepreneurship can feel lonely at times, especially when you go tell your friend or someone around you, your family member, like, oh my God, I just made $1 million, or oh my God, I just bought this new car. And they're just like, you learn really quick that you really don't have that many friends, that the people around you, sometimes they just want to use you. So again, just stick with your intuition and be 100% fulfilled within yourself to be alone. Because then when you are with your friends, when you're with your partner, when you're with your family, that quality time is even better. Truth of digital income. Digital income, I love, obviously, because you can make money from anywhere. You can travel, come home wealthier. It takes your stress away. But also digital income, nothing is promised. Just in sales, in entrepreneurship, it's not steady unless you are making a killing and standing out on social media every day selling something. Trading, you're gonna have your days where you have your wins and your losses. That's why you need risk management, of course. So your losses don't really feel like losses. You know your losses are actually wins. But the truth of digital income, more so, the expectation is it takes a lot of time to build, and well, it doesn't take that much time to build. You just need focus. You need focus on one project. A lot of the time people want to sell this. They want to create this ebook, this offer, this. They have 1,000 offers. Digital income is not hard. Focus on one or two things that you are actually passionate about, and you will do extremely well. But digital income is entrepreneurship. You don't know what you're gonna make. That's why it's important to have multiple different income streams, and you can have multiple different income streams online, and you should. Can beauty girls be successful at trading and investing? As a beauty girl with ADHD, learning disabilities, testing anxieties, huge limiting beliefs of the past, yes, I am a walking testimony that you can be successful in trading and investing. And not only you can be, you should be. You need to be investing, because beauty girls, you don't have PTO, you don't have benefits, you don't have a 401k. You need to invest. It is not an option. You have to start investing now, whether you have $5 a week to invest or $1,000 a week to invest. It's not hard, because you're investing in Starbucks every single day. You're investing in Dunkin' every single day. You're investing into that bottle of 1942 every weekend. You choose where to spend your money. There is never a reason to not have enough money to invest, point blank. How do you qualify for mentorship? I do not like my time wasted, and I do not want to waste your time. I am not necessarily easy to be mentored by, because you need to actually want it. Again, I'm not wasting either of our time. To qualify for mentorship, you have to have a burning desire to do better. You have to have a strong reason why. Together, we set 30, 60, and 90-day goals right off the bat. And you need to be disciplined in setting that, because when God sends you that lifeboat, again, you still need to pick up the oars and start paddling. So when I tell you this is exactly how you're going to get to your 30, 60, 90-day goals, you need to do it. So you just need to actually want it. You need to show up for yourself. Just an hour a day is all I ask. If you tell me you don't have enough time, I'm gonna have you check your screen time, because I can tell you do. And what's an extra 30 minutes in the morning and an extra 30 minutes at night before you go to bed, to watch a couple videos. Stop watching Netflix. That's rotting your brain, and just watch a video that I'm gonna send you on personal development, or how to trade, or how to invest in crypto with only $5, how to start making money in social media in the next 3 days, guaranteed, promised, pinky promise. So you just have to actually show up. There's people that I've had in my mentorship for over a year. They know the value of it because they still pay every single month, but they haven't done one assignment. But they're still here because they don't want to lose their spot, because they know that I only mentor a few people every single month. Because again, I don't want to take on more than I can chew, and I'm not wasting your time or my time. I don't take everybody on. We'll have a little interview. My mentorship is open to anybody. I do prefer to work with females over males. Sorry guys, but I do have a couple males that I love working with, and they are literally killing it. Thank you, God, you know who you are. But I prefer working with females because I have most experience working with females, and I know where I was 5 years ago, and if I can help that girl that I was 5 years ago, I'm happy. But to qualify for mentorship, you just leave me a comment. My DMs are always open. We jump on a call, we get to know each other, we make sure we're aligned to work together, and that's it. We can start working together. Benefits of online skills is you don't have to wait for PTO. You don't have to ask your boss for off. You don't have to get mad when your boss says no, you can't have off. You can become wealthier traveling the world. You can get paid to travel. You don't have to ask for a raise. You actually just created your own raise. And when the world shuts down, you actually, again, come out wealthier. You're probably going to be one of those millionaires that gets formed in the time where everyone else is making excuses and saying, oh my God, recession. Oh my God, COVID, lockdown. I'm just going to sit in my room and rot because I can't do anything else. No. You're going to be fine. You're going to be learning a digital skill or already have these skill sets, which you have, because if it happened once, it can happen again, and it probably will in our lifetime or your kids' lifetime. So if you can't pass down money to them, pass down a digital skill set that they can create their own income. And, you know, you can really set up your family for success, yourself up for success, retire your family. That's my goal. I want to retire my parents. Before they retire themselves, but there's too many benefits. I want to check my camera because I have such PTSD of my stuff not being recorded. Okay, perfect. And we're almost done, and I looked at the clock and it was 22:44. Angel numbers. Anyway, how has my faith journey been since giving my life to God? It's been absolutely beautiful. God, this is more than I've ever prayed for. Thank you. But it's been hard. Giving your life to God and really living for Christ is not an easy walk. I was just thinking about this yesterday, and it's like with every action you make, I really ask myself, okay, is this God-centered? Would God approve of this? Is this something that God has for me in my life? Am I listening to my intuition, which is rooted in God, or am I listening to that second voice in my head? The devil, or, you know, my limiting beliefs. So it's not hard, but it's the most beautiful journey I've been on. Again, since I gave my life to God, my life has done a complete 360. I closed my business. I'm making really big moves that I haven't told really anybody about yet. As you guys know, I make most of my decisions, and then out of nowhere I'm just like, okay, decision made. Now you guys can all know. But I'm excited to share that journey and that vision with you guys soon. But anyway, it's also been the most beautiful because my relationships with people have really grew. My friends also, one of my friends that started as my client years ago, she lived probably like an hour away, and we kind of fell off for a little bit, not because of anything bad. It's not like we fought or anything like that, but we kind of just went our separate ways for a little bit, and we're as connected. And then we started to go to church together every single Sunday, and it's amazing because it's like God will always bring your friends back to you. The people that are meant to be in your life, God will always bring them back to you. And since I've given my life to God, I've had a lot easier time during my hardships because I have faith within my Creator and myself. I do feel like I have a lot more opportunities now. It's just, again, me. Paddle. When God sends you the lifeboat, pick up the oars. But it's up to you because you can still choose not to live for God every single day. It's a decision that you have to make. God is leading you. God is a step ahead of you, holding your hand. But it's up to you to keep holding his hand or to let go. So it's not easy, but it helps me with my mindset a lot. I haven't been in as much depression over the winter. It's like the gym. It's like if I don't go to church on Sunday, I'm like, oh my God, like I feel weird, like something's missing. But I love it. And now for my future as well, it's so much easier for me not to go back to those toxic exes, even the days that I want to, when they post and I'm like, oh, I love you. I don't. The enemy just wants you in my life. But anyway, life is also easier at the same time. I have a lot more faith in my decisions, and again, when I'm going through a rough patch, they're not as rough. Now, what to tell my younger self? I think just that it's going to be okay. Some people aren't worth your time, and to live for yourself, especially as somebody with ADHD. I used to mirror everybody around me a lot, but I would get into XYZ not because of other people, because of decisions that I made. And I let other people change the direction of my life because I wanted to be liked, I wanted to fit in. I didn't want to be the weird girl that I once was. But in some odd way, I was always still obviously uniquely myself. I always stayed rooted to myself, of course, and every vision I've ever had, I definitely tested out. But live for yourself. Don't live to please anybody else. Don't live to please your friends. Don't live to please your family. Don't live to please your parents, your neighbor, your students, your employees, anything. Live to please yourself and God. Point blank. Like, you have one life, so yes, have fun, but you are not here for a short time and a fun time. You're here for a long time and a good time. And like, don't just do stupid, dumb stuff because you don't want to upset somebody in a moment when they ask you if you want to go do X, Y, or Z. Yeah, and to be real, stop craving the attention of men. If you're like me, you got that list in your phone and you're like, damn, I can't believe I gave XYZ access. I'm disgusted. Be selective because your body's a temple. And a lot of the time when you are with random people when you're young, it's just because you wanted attention or you liked the idea of somebody or whatever. Just be a little more selective. Last question. Actually, two more and then we're done. What would I say to somebody overthinking paying for mentorship? What are you going to be overthinking 5 years from now? The fact that you're in the exact same situation that you're in right now, the fact that you're still bill to bill, the fact that you're still wondering how you're going to pay rent, the fact that you still can't manage your money, the fact that you still have the same circle around you. What are you going to be questioning 5 years from now? The what ifs? Or are you going to question one investment and say, you know what if this is the best thing ever? Because at this point, what do you have to lose? That's it. And to be real, my mentorship costs a Starbucks a day. It costs $5 a day to change your life. Again, you choose what you want to spend money on. The biggest limiting belief I had to get over is my voice. I always felt like my voice was belittled a lot. I still hate when people talk over me. That I'm really trying to heal from. Especially I love Spanish culture. I love people that are loud because I tend to be quiet as well. I'm really trying to work on using my voice more, but I hate being cut off more than anything because it triggers back. It's a trigger. It's like, I don't speak a lot. So when I do, the fact if somebody doesn't want to listen to what I say, or they think that what I'm saying isn't important because they just want to speak over me, I can't. But it is rooted, something I'm working on, it's rooted in, I felt like my voice was always belittled, that people didn't care about what I say because the fact I couldn't pronounce my name until I was way too old to have that problem. I never even wanted to be like, hey, my name's Miranda, because I had such a fear to say my name. People would be like, what? What's your name? What? Like, and me as a little girl, I'd be like, no, I'm just not even gonna speak then. Like, thank God my parents put me in speech therapy. Like, and they were able to help me and pay for me to go to freaking speech. I'm so grateful. Or I would still be having a lisp or like a speech impediment or whatever. But it's way more than just not being able to say my name when I was younger. But that's just the easiest comparison, if you would. And obviously just having ADHD, when you get interrupted as well, you tend to forget what you were talking about or even thinking about. So it's like an anger that triggers. But that's also for me rooted back to, you know, not feeling like my voice has power. So one limiting belief I had to get over is that what I had to say wasn't important, and that people weren't just judging everything that I said. And again, those are all just limiting beliefs coming from what people around you used to say, how they used to speak to you, how they used to respond to you. But I have a lot that I'm still healing from. I believe you'll never really be fully healed, because, you know, as soon as you heal from one thing, life throws a curveball at you and you got to heal from something else. But my limiting belief would be my voice, and ironically enough, one of my lifetime goals is to be a public speaker, an educator, and pretty much get paid to speak and use my voice. So YouTube is very healing for me, and empowering as well, but my biggest limiting belief I had to get over was my voice, and using it loudly and being my true authentic self, and being the loudest in the room. But that's all for my Q&A. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know this was a longer video, but if you're here until the end and you really ride with me, then I want to say thank you. I really appreciate you. Throw some pink hearts in the chat box. Not in the chat box. I'm just gonna keep rolling with that. Drop it down in the chat box below. You guys know, if you're in my mentorship, you're always dropping stuff in the chat box. But drop in the chat box some pink hearts. The most of them are on all platforms. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And I'm so freaking thankful for you dolls.